Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Evans and I'm a science-based intuitive eating coach, as well as someone who recovered from over 10 years of struggling with bulimia. So today I'm really excited because we're going to be talking about a term that's come up a lot online. It was something I found really deeply, personally difficult, troubling, and honestly there's just not a lot of resources, not a lot of information, not a lot of people talking about it, especially people who've experienced it firsthand. And today we're going to be talking all about bulimia face. So let's dig into it. So right off the bat, what is bulimia face? Now this is also known as bulimia cheeks or bulimia face swelling. So bulimia face basically occurs when a person who has been engaging regularly in self-induced vomiting and purging, they suddenly stop that behavior. Now this caused the salivary glands that are in front of the ears here to begin to swell. This causes the cheeks to look swollen. Now, bulimia face doesn't occur to every single person who has been vomiting regularly and then stops that behavior, but it does happen to a good number of people. Now, this swelling has also been called moon face, as the salivary glands that swell right here, in front of the ears, this cheek area, causing the face to take on a very kind of circular moon shape. So people who struggle with bulimia often find this effect, moon face, bulimia face, the chipmunk cheeks, all that really troubling. And I was one of those people because all of a sudden it feels like your face, almost overnight has gained weight, even though that is not the case, even though your face is not all of a sudden fat like that, right? It's simply swollen because of the effects of bulimia, but that doesn't stop it from being extremely troubling. That's also why I wanted to speak to it a little bit today, because that can be one of the reasons that we fall back into old behaviors. Because all of a sudden we feel so triggered and so overwhelmed that our face feels larger, that our face feels fatter, that we think to ourselves, oh my gosh, I've gained weight. Now I need to go and purge and get rid of that so that I don't continue to gain this weight. And so even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with gaining weight, depending where you are in recovery, that can be extremely, extremely troubling to have that very overnight, almost instantaneous cheek swelling. And we're going to be talking a little bit more in this video about if it's permanent, what we can do about it, really what is actually going on in the body when this happens. But I just want you to know that this is not a reason to go back to old behaviors. This is not a reason to relapse. And as we'll be talking about, this is a temporary side effect of recovery. This is your salivary glands trying to do their best to heal and get you moving forward, operating the correct way. So know that you don't need to go back into old behaviors. Your face is not, in fact, all of a sudden larger, all of a sudden fatter, just because you're no longer engaging in bulimic tendencies. You didn't just gain that weight overnight. And so I just want you to be aware of that, because a lot of the time, and for myself as well, I find this extremely troubling when all of a sudden I have this moon face and it want me to go back, it caused me to want to go back to old behaviors. So don't let that be one of the reasons why. Now let's talk about what causes the face to actually swell. Why is it getting bigger? Why are our cheeks doing that? So when our body is preparing to vomit, preparing to purge, the salivary glands increase the production of saliva to actually lubricate the esophagus and the mouth. Now, because bulimics induce vomiting multiple times a day, and for myself, oh my God, sometimes it was like 50 times a night. It was insane. I'm laughing because it's dark humor, but it was a lot. I was purging a lot, and I'm lucky to still be alive today, but I still have massive teeth damage and, gastrointestinal damage and a lot of stuff. But I was one of the people who really came out of that less harmed than I definitely could have been. Anyways, so basically, self-inducing vomiting several times a day, forcing your body to produce excessive amounts of saliva, which causes saliva glands to become overstimulated. So in order to keep up the amount of work that's basically being asked of them, the salivary glands are increasing in size, right? They're like, oh my gosh, we're purging all the time. We got to lubricate our esophagus and our mouth, which means we have to do more work. We have to be constantly stimulated so we can keep up with this so that, again, that throat, that mouth can be lubricated as we're continuing to induce that vomiting. With that, is bulimia face permanent? No, it's not permanent. That is the good news. After a period of, prolonged regular eating, salivary glands will return to a normal size. Once they're no longer required to produce those excessive amounts of saliva, they're basically going to kind of adapt and shrink back to their regular normal size before you struggled with bulimia. In rare cases, however, sometimes the glands don't shrink after a long period of time. In these cases, the only treatment is really to surgically remove the part of the gland, but that is again very rare and not something that's happening very often. So probably not you, but if you're someone who's noticing that your face is still having that kind of moon effect, that chipmunk effect after, months and months and months after you've been, in recovery, it might be something to talk to your doctor about to see if maybe something else is going on there. So how long does it take for your face to return to that more regular size? Again, as I mentioned before, it's after a prolonged period of regular eating. So if you're someone who's kind of in and out of relapses, you're going to be prolonging how long it takes for your face to get back to that regular normal size of yours. Because again, you're basically having your salivary glands having to be working extra hard to keep up with the demand of lubricating your throat. And so the longer you're going without the purging, the easier and faster it will be for your face to return to that regular size. And I know this can be so distressing. I know this can be so frustrating, but again, this is temporary. This is a temporary thing that you're going to get through. Honestly, people who are around you barely even notice it. No one even said anything to me when my face was getting bigger, even people who didn't even know I struggled with bulimia. So don't let this be a reason that you're not living your life. Don't let this be a reason that you're staying inside. Live, go out, do everything you need to do. And the more that you're engaging in life, the more that you're building a life outside of bulimia, the faster you're going to recover and the faster your face is going to return to that regular size. So let's talk about bulimia recovery. Likely you're struggling with bulimia, and know that you are not alone in that. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I struggled for over 10 years with bulimia, some days struggling and purging upwards of like 50 times. And I was desperate to recover, but I found that the systems that were available to me at the time where I lived were really not cutting it. I'm someone who really wanted some concrete strategies, but really was frustrated by the lack of information and really brain-based, science-based tools on showing me exactly how to recover, on exactly how to stop the purging behavior. Now, fast forward to today, and I've been recovered for several years now. I've been traveling the world. I currently live in Portugal. Before that, lived in Bali for a few years. And so life after recovery is amazing. I'm an intuitive eating coach and really dedicated my life to teaching other women all around the world how to recover and reclaim their life as well. So how did I recover? You might be wondering, you might be asking. Now, I share a lot of that in my coaching programs. I'll drop the links in the comments below for you to check out. But I also developed a toolkit for you that you can take home today that's going to really help you to stop your purging behaviors, which then in turn will help your face no longer have bulimia face and return to that regular size. And so I put together 10 of my favorite tools, my stop bulimia tools that I created for myself that I've shared with other clients as well. I put them into a toolkit and I'm basically sharing them with you. So this toolkit is super cheap considering the value and what it really gives you, but it's 10 of my top rated bulimia tools that really changed my life and the lives of my clients. So this is a 33-page PDF, guide book with step-by-step instructions for each tool and strategy, as well as a powerful explanation of why each tool works from a brain-based approach. This was something that I found very frustrating in recovery, was that there was never a reason why I should do something. I never understood what was the reason, what was the logic behind it. So this toolkit not only gives you my top 10 tools, as well as, my instructions and strategies and everything behind it, but a reason why it's actually going to work, which I find so empowering. Education is empowerment and really creates that lasting change. So you can go ahead to the show notes below and grab it there. It's also on my website, www.victoriaevansofficial.com/toolkit. And with all that said, if you haven't already, please follow me over on Instagram. That is at Victoria Evans Official. Shoot me a DM there. I'm happy to chat with you, answer any questions you might have. I also post a ton of content there. As well, last thing here is that just a disclaimer that this toolkit is not a substitute for getting, help from healthcare professionals, right? Bulimia is a very serious, life-threatening condition. So I don't want to take this toolkit as some kind of a substitution. I want this to be an addition to. Have this as more tools in your tool belt for recovery, not your sole toolkit for recovery. As I said, bulimia is a very serious life-threatening disease, so don't wait to get help. Reach out. You absolutely deserve to get that support, get that help, no matter what stage you are in recovery. Yeah, that's what I have for you today. All right, thank you so much for listening to this video. I wasn't sure if I was going to record today, and I decided that, hey, I'm just throwing my hair in a ponytail, put on a shirt, out of my pajamas, and I'll record a little something. I was feeling very called to talk about this today. So I hope that it helps. I hope that you took something away from this. And just know, again, if you're someone who's struggling with bulimia, you're not alone. I struggled as well. Recovery is absolutely possible, and I'm here for you. All right, sending much love and talk soon.